Fucking trains. But anyways, though, gobble gobble, bitch. Happy Thanksgiving. Gobble gobble, bitch. Happy Thanksgiving to y'all. Hopefully y'all having a great Thanksgiving, because I'm not. I'm eating fucking rotisseries, and I'm eating Walmart rotisseries and 8-piece from Popeyes. So that's my Thanksgiving right there. So hopefully y'all enjoying y'all Thanksgiving, because I damn sure ain't enjoying mine. Y'all get to be around family and watch football. Meanwhile, I gotta sit in the house by myself and watch football. I would live stream today, but I'm not in the fucking mood. I've been fucked up for the past week, so I'm not in the fucking mood. I've been going through shit, bro. I'm not really in the fucking mood. So, but gobble gobble, bitch. Happy Thanksgiving to you. Anyway, so without further ado, here we go right here. The decline of Boston market. Why not do a video like this on Thanksgiving? This is where I should have went, but shit fucked up. This is where I was actually going to go do my Thanksgiving dinner. I was going to get myself a turkey, a brisket, all type of shit. I was going to have a turkey, a brisket, macaroni and cheese. I don't really even fuck with Boston market like that, to be honest with you. Boston market ain't really popping like that, but it is what it is, though. Let's get right into it, though. Happy Thanksgiving. Gobble gobble, bitch. Fucking train, shut the fuck up, man. Why are we still using trains in 2023?
Boston Market is famous for their rotisserie chicken. I have been known to order their half chicken meal with some macaroni and cheese and mashed potatoes on the side, and then they always give you this cornbread with it. I used to get the cinnamon apples. They were my favorite thing there, up until a couple years ago when they stopped serving them. Oh, can you believe that? I'm actually still trying to get over it, but from that menu, we can see that this is not your typical fast food restaurant. I think that it would best be described as a hybrid between fast food and a home-cooked meal. Considering how different they are and how tasty their food is, in my opinion anyway, it may be surprising to hear that they have not been doing well for over 20 years now. Boston Market has experienced a unique rise and fall. Here, listen to this. They started off as one location in 1985, and after a little more than a decade, had grown into a national chain of almost 1,200 of them, which was actually their peak. The following year, they were down to about 700 locations because they closed a bunch of them when they filed for bankruptcy. They have fluctuated around a bit since then, but they have never even come close to that 1997 peak, and today are actually down to about 400. That is interesting. So today I want to talk about how one of the fastest growing restaurants in the country quickly turned into one of the fastest declining in the country. In 1985, there were two friends, Arthur Kors and Kip Colo. They were both around 30 years old and looking to start a business together, so they logically chose something that would utilize their combined experience. Arthur had been the manager of a higher-end grocery store and a higher-end catering company, while Kip had been busy working in the real estate market. So a restaurant would allow them to utilize their talents, and the type of restaurant on which they decided, in my opinion, is the single greatest factor behind their success in the very beginning and through the next 12 years. They would be primarily a takeout restaurant that would specialize in selling rotisserie chicken and these home-style sides to go with it. Actually, in the beginning and for the first 10 years, they weren't even called Boston Market, they were called Boston Chicken. They took some recipes from their grandparents, came up with some on their own, and in doing so, opened a restaurant that both appealed to customers and had almost zero direct competition. They weren't really competing in the fast food market because they were more of a home-cooked version of it, but then they also weren't competing in the home-cooked market because they were more of a fast food version of it. Do you see what I mean? It was like there was a fight happening on both sides of them, and they somehow found that clear middle ground where they were able to advance right through. With such a great, unique idea, it was honestly hard to fail. Not to take anything away from anybody, but it was kind of like they were playing the game on easy mode. That first Boston Chicken was located 10 miles outside of Boston, and it was instantly a success. And the owners weren't even looking to expand it either. The idea was so strong that people were actually approaching them to help do it. In 1989, a venture capitalist named George Nadoff took an interest in it and quickly ended up buying the rights to open additional Boston Chicken restaurants. He used some of his own own money, found some private investors, and by the end of 1991 had opened over 30 Boston Chickens, I believe all in the New England area. And then again, those restaurants ended up being so successful that they attracted a new buyer, this time named Scott Beck. He and his partner were the owners of over 100 Blockbuster Video locations that they had previously sold for $120 million just 3 years earlier, meaning they had the money and the knowledge and the other resources to accelerate things to a ridiculous level. In less than 2 years, he had grown the chain to over 200 locations, and that was just the beginning. The following year, they had a public stock offering that raised money that was put toward opening even more restaurants. That stock, by the way, doubled in price over the first day of trading, and over the next few years, quadrupled in price from there. And then they just continued opening more and more restaurants, utilizing what's called area developers, meaning instead of slowly franchising locations one at a time, they would do it in groups. They would sell the rights to open new Boston Chickens in certain areas, under the promise that they would open an agreed upon number of them within an agreed upon time. You know, saying that you're the only one that can open them in Chicago, but you have to promise to open 10 of them by the end of the year. They would even loan money to these area developers to help ensure that they could afford it. Using these methods, they were able to go from 100 to 1,000 locations within 5 years. And they made it clear that it was their intention to keep doing this, at least until the end of the decade. It was fast, but of course, it was risky. In their rush to open all of these new restaurants, they weren't incredibly patient in finding the most cost-effective locations. Their lease agreements were said to be among the most expensive in their industry. So to summarize, they now had over 1,000 locations that were generating system-wide sales of over $1 billion a year, but their costs and their debt were getting a little bit out of control. Here's my best metaphor, and I hope this makes sense. They were playing Super Mario World on the easy levels, just running through the stages, not even caring if they got hit, because if they turned into Little Mario, it would be easy enough to finish the level without getting hit again. But what if the level got a little bit harder than they anticipated? They made a wrong move and walked right into a Koopa. What would have been minor damage for a safer player has now killed them. If that doesn't make sense, I think it will in a minute. Today, rotisserie chicken has become somewhat of a popular meal. They're available in grocery stores across the country. Costco is especially famous for it. Well, many of these stores, including Costco, started selling them in 1994. It was pretty much a direct response to Boston Chicken's exploding popularity. They realized that they could sell a similar product at a lower price, and all of a sudden, Boston Chicken had their first direct competitor. So now, they felt the need to give the customer new reasons to visit their restaurants. Their first response was in 1995 when they introduced more dinner selections beyond chicken. They started offering turkey and ham and meatloaf, and to reflect the reduced emphasis on chicken, they changed the name of their locations from Boston Chicken to Boston Market. Their second big initiative was in 1996 when they introduced their Boston Carver line of sandwiches for lunch. I realize that doesn't sound too significant, but it was probably their single biggest misstep. Selling sandwiches for lunch instantly meant that they were now competing with Subway and Wendy's and everyone else in the fast food market that they had so carefully been able to avoid. Instead of walking straight through that clear path, they now turned directly into one of those fights. They knew that it would be tough, so they started this huge marketing initiative, spending record amounts of money on advertising that was uncharacteristic for them because they would focus on pricing rather than quality. And they were also giving out coupons to just about everybody to generate more sales, and you know what? It actually worked. Their sandwich items became so popular to a point where
when you put coupons out there, buy one get one free, 50% off. When you start putting coupons out there, of course people gonna show up. You put them in their mailbox. Shit, of course. Hey, we got some Boston Market coupons. Y'all want to go to Boston Market? Yeah, let's go to Boston Market then. You know what I'm saying? Hey, coupons ain't gonna never hurt. That's why I don't understand why all of these restaurants don't do fucking coupons. You know what I'm saying? Because if all of these restaurants did coupons instead of trying to rob us for our fucking money all the goddamn time, you have more business instead of motherfuckers trying to rob y'all and steal from y'all. Dumbass businesses. Put some coupons out there so that way we can start paying less.
where people were favoring them over their core menu items, which had a higher margin. So their response to that was to adopt all of these practices to the dinner items. So now, Boston Market was selling a lot of stuff, but the coupons and the discounts were cutting into their profits. A negative side effect of that was that they were so busy, it led to poor customer service and high wait times, which upset the customers. The end result was a suffering reputation, lower profit margins, and eventually lower sales. In 1997, everything went bad. Their profits took a turn, their stock price was cut in half, they were forced to stop their expansion plans and start buying locations from those area developers in an attempt to transition into a company-owned structure that could be closer controlled. Because they were so deep in debt already, with high costs pushing that debt even higher and not enough sales to cover all of it, they were forced into bankruptcy in October of 1998. As I said, they closed over 400 locations as a result of it and just have never been able to recover. Luckily, they did survive that bankruptcy because you may not see this one coming, but they were bought by McDonald's, which was probably one of the best things that could have happened to them at the time. I mean, Boston Market had been struggling to even stay alive for the past few years, and now they were going to be supported by the largest company in their industry. The timing of this was perfect as well. It was right when McDonald's was looking to diversify into other chains of restaurants. They had bought part of Chipotle a couple years earlier and were looking to add Boston Market into that portfolio. Given that they were in such
McDonald's
a
owns
desperate position,
Chipotle?
McDonald's
Damn.
was able to get them at a reasonable price, $170
We need a video on
million.
McDonald's,
And
sir.
hey, if they have to close some of those underperforming ones, they could simply turn them into a McDonald's or Chipotle. To me, this seems like a fantastic deal for both ends, but it didn't really live up to those expectations. I should say, McDonald's did make a few attempts to revive the brand. They made a deal with Heinz to make those Boston Market frozen meals and even opened their first international locations in Australia. But by 2007, McDonald's decided that they wanted to focus more on their core McDonald's brand, so they decided to sell Chipotle and Boston Market.
Oh, damn.
Boston Market was bought by a private equity firm called Sun Capital Partners, who, again, hasn't been too successful in helping them. Over the past 13 years, they have closed more than 200 of those remaining locations, leaving them now with about 400. Then, it's not over yet. In April of 2020, Boston Market was sold again, this time to Engage Brands, who seem to be hopeful about it. But, I don't know, it's been pretty tough for the past 20 plus years, so I don't know if my hopes are quite as high as theirs. I think you'll agree with me when I say that their best chance at being successful from this point would undoubtedly be to bring back those cinnamon apples. Let me know in the comments, have you ever tried those cinnamon apples? It's kind of like eating an apple pie, but just the inside, which is the best part, so I don't get why they would discontinue. Alright, I suppose more importantly, what do you see for the future of Boston Market? Maybe their reputation has suffered too much. Maybe these Costco rotisserie chickens and the others like them are enough to keep them down. Or do they still have a chance to make a comeback? I'm sure it wouldn't be as easy or as fast.
They only useful for the holidays. Boston Market is only good for the holidays. Like I said, if I didn't get into a situation that I got into last week, I probably would be eating some Boston Market right now. I probably would have had a whole fucking meal ready. But yeah, the biggest thing I think that fucked them up was the fact that, you know, Walmart, Kroger's and all them, they got rotisserie chickens at their place now. So now it's like really, you're not even thinking about going to Boston Market because you're going to go to Walmart to do your grocery shopping. You're going to go to Kroger to do your grocery shopping. So why not just pick a rotisserie up from here? Makes sense. So it really don't make no sense to really go out there and eat at Boston Market unless you plan on making a meal for yourself and you don't feel like cooking. Unless you don't feel like cooking and you plan on getting a full course Thanksgiving meal, more than likely you're going to go to Boston Market, but that's only for the holidays though, to take care of yourself if you live by yourself. But yeah, man, that's really what I think happened. This was a great video to put out for Thanksgiving. I appreciate y'all for watching. That's really what I think happened. You know what I'm saying? They just... The grocery store is just too convenient. The grocery store is just too convenient, bro. Walmart is too convenient. Kroger is too convenient. Any other grocery store out there is too convenient. If they sell rotisserie chickens, obviously you're not going to go to Boston Market to go get rotisserie chickens. There's competition now. And unless Boston Market starts selling groceries, it's a good chance that they're not going to bounce back anytime soon, and I wouldn't be surprised if they go completely out of business in the next 3 to 5 years. So yeah, that's just where I'm gonna leave it at right now. Let me know what y'all think down in the comment section below. Till then, peace out.